Rentvesting. What is that? Rentvesting is the way many millennials are building generational wealth in the 2020s, and it's definitely an interesting topic that we can all learn from. So, let's get into how rentvesting works and how it can work for you. Rentvestors are those who purchase real estate in one location but opt to live elsewhere in rented houses rather than inhabit their property. Rentvestors frequently buy houses in cheaper neighborhoods, yet live in more costly inner-city districts. Rentvesting is one of the most effective methods used by millennials to build wealth in this modern era. In today's video, I'll be discussing how millennials are building wealth through rentvesting. Now, let's get into it. It's no secret that younger generations aren't purchasing homes as quickly as older ones. Many millennials have put off buying their first house due to tighter lending standards, the high cost of living in major cities, the average undergraduate student loan debt of $29,200, not including specialized or advanced degrees, and the average undergraduate debt. The issue of how these renters will be able to save money for their first home becomes a source of anxiety as renting continues to grow in popularity among the younger generation. Rentvestors can also make extra money by letting their renters occupy their investment property. Even if the rent isn't enough to completely cover the mortgage and maintenance fees, there can still be tax advantages. When you don't have to worry about renting out or selling your present house, it can be easier to make important life decisions, like changing employment, relocating to a new city, or taking a trip. With rentvesting, you can purchase your first home while retaining the freedom to live anywhere you choose. But there may also be drawbacks. It's likely that you'll want to rent out your house, and doing so can be difficult and time-consuming. Due to the fact that owner-occupants are the only ones eligible, real estate speculators also miss out on valuable first-time homebuyer grants. You'll also be renting a home from someone else at this time, so you might experience landlord issues of your own. Even if this isn't the case, the lease's restrictions can make it challenging to renovate your house, and there's always a chance you'll be asked to leave when your lease expires. When examining investing prospects and your personal opportunities, there are several things to consider. First, get a down payment. Given the rising cost of real estate and the stricter financing standards, this will be the most challenging stage for most people. But for those who are determined to make it happen, it is possible. You'll want to look into the different loan options that meet your specific needs. Each one will have different requirements for a down payment. As a general guideline, aim for a deposit that's roughly 20% of the property's worth. It's best to start out with an investment property with a smaller value than if you're buying a home to live in, because a 20% deposit can be a lot of money. For instance, if you reside in a region where real estate is overpriced, you may find it challenging to raise $200,000 within a year to put down a 20% deposit on, say, a $1 million house. So seek out a property in a neighborhood that's undervalued. Now that you have your deposit secured, it's time to start looking for your first property. The first step will be to secure your financing with a lender. Doing so upfront will make it a lot easier for you to make an offer when you do find the right house for you. Then you want to find a real estate agent familiar with buying investment properties. Having someone experienced in this area will be a real stress relief as you go through the buying process for the first time. Once you find a property, your real estate agent and mortgage broker will walk you through the entire process of putting in an offer, getting it inspected, and finalizing the purchase. Don't be afraid to ask questions along the way. This is a process that's building your knowledge for future investments, so be thorough and soak in as much as you can. Now that you have your first property, you need to rent it out. To help you manage all that, you're going to want some help from our sponsor, Avail Online Landlord Management Tools. Avail is your one-stop shop for landlords to manage everything about their property. With Avail, you can advertise your rental property listing across a dozen sites, screen tenants with background and credit checks, create and manage online rental applications, digital leases with templates for your local area, a tenant portal as well so you can do online rent collection, auto pay option for tenants, auto-populate your 1099-K tax forms for taxes, rental property accounting, maintenance tracking, and much more can all be managed right in-app on your phone or website. Check out the link in the description and start making your life easier today. It's time to estimate your present cash flow and set a goal for your next home purchase. The initial property was purchased in order to enter the real estate market and provide a positive cash flow. For this reason, a 20% down payment was suggested. You should be able to accumulate either a greater down payment within the same time frame, 12 months, or the same down payment in a shorter amount of time due to the positive cash flow that this property should now be providing. Additionally, the first home should be eligible for tax deductions for depreciation and mortgage payments, which should be interest only to maximize the deductibility, depending on when the property was built or renovated. This will lower the amount of taxes you have to pay. For your second property, it's crucial to start diversifying your holdings among several types and locations of property, because otherwise, 100% of your investment will be at risk if that market declines. Now follow the same process as before to find your second property. Don't forget to preserve your own down payment wisely. This entails setting up an offset account against one of the investment properties with these monies. Though you won't be earning money from this, it will save you from making higher rate repayments and provide improved tax efficiency. Buy property 3. Go over your requirements once more. Always strive to expand your diversification by investing in either a different region or type of property. Now, you can describe yourself as a mini mogul. You can see that you can accomplish your goals if you set your mind to it. After 3 years, your overall position would be as follows: 5% rental yield and 4% interest rates. You can see that the long-term growth potential of real estate and other growth investments is their true strength. The greatest thing you can do is keep these properties for the long term, even though this rent-vesting approach only lasts for 3 years. Very little time for a growth strategy. Is rent-vesting right for you? Leave a comment below and tell us your thoughts. Thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, please be sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and the notification bell so you know when we release more videos on the housing market. Thank you, and we'll talk to you soon.